Here we have section 7.2, exercise 8, and in these we're rotating about the y-axis. Now it's interesting in number 8, they happen to give us something that's very symmetrical, so it's kind of weird how it works out. We're given that y is equal to the square root of 16 minus x squared. Well, that's a circle, and they're just going from 0 to 4 here and 0 to 4 up here, and they want us to rotate around the y-axis, so we're slicing up that way. Now, to do that, we really need to solve for x here in terms of y, and because that's how we're going to get our radius, is I need to know what this x value is for any given slice on the y value. And so we get y squared is equal to 16 minus x squared, which means x squared equals 16 minus y squared. So you see it's a circle, and so you get the same thing, same looking thing either way. Now we could take the square root here, but actually this is a case where we don't really need to, because remember this is r, and we need pi r squared. So when we square that square root, we just get back to the x squared anyway. So we want an integral that goes from y equals 0 to 4 of our pi times 16 minus y squared dy. Now, let's go ahead and do this. So let's see, this is just pi times 16y minus y cubed over 3 from 0 to 4. 0 again is nicely just 0. So we get pi times 64 minus 4 cubed is 64, so 64 over 3. So this is just 2/3 of 64, which is 128 times pi over 3. So that's what we get. So let's check that in Desmos. Now it's interesting in Desmos, I would tend to say with Desmos this can be a little dicey placing y's in there, but I did it both ways already and it worked just fine. But I would say if you want to do this integral with Desmos, you might change the y's to x's. And so you see I did that first, and I got it worked just fine, got 134 about, and then I tried it with the y's, it worked just fine. And we had 128 times pi divided by 3, and so we did get the same thing that Desmos got. But again, I find that Desmos can do funny things when you start using just any old letters for one, and then really funny things if you use letters sometimes that it expects to be used in certain ways. So like y is usually the dependent variable of a function, and so sometimes it can get a little funky when it works with y, whereas x's are usually the independent variable. So it looks like it worked both ways, but to be safe, I definitely would have just gone with the x's to begin with in Desmos. Okay, so we're done.